Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim. And once again, you are hanging out with the Yinzer Bros. We're here today with a special pre-draft podcast. It's going to be great. Tim, we had a lot of holes to fill this year as the Steelers. We made some big moves in free agency. We've addressed some of our needs there, but I still think we can add some pieces through the draft. It's coming. Yeah. But before we talk about the draft, Tim, how are you?
TJ, I had probably one of the top three most humbling moments, probably about 45 minutes ago, happened to me ever.
Tim, tell the fans what happened to you over the last 45 minutes ago.
Tonight is bath night for my glorious child. So, getting her ready for bath, and mom's upstairs getting the bath ready. I'm downstairs, getting her undressed to go, whatever. So she's sitting there in her diaper. She sits up, looks at me, goes like this with her hands, grabs my boobs and just lifts up like that.
She was confused, Tim. She didn't know what she was dealing with.
TJ, I mean...
Is that a wake-up call, Tim? Is that a wake-up call?
TJ,
what do you do? What do you do to work that out? What do you do?
That was as close to just... ending it that I've ever had right there. I mean,
that's a wake-up call.
It was like something just pierced inside my whole entire soul and being. I mean, the only other person that may have been worse if somebody did that to me was probably you. If you just reach over the table and like that out my chest.
Tim, I can promise you this: that is never going to happen.
I couldn't believe it. I thought she was set up to give me a hug. Like I really did. I was like, she's going to give me.
She's parting the seat. She's moving them out of the way. So, Tim, I mean, you work out like every day. So, I mean, is that just like humiliating? What is that?
I mean, I personally think it may be time. I don't know if it's a sign. All I've been seeing is the Frank Thomas commercials with his testosterone stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, TJ, I don't know. Maybe I haven't been to the gym in like close to today's the first day back. I've been sick. I was sick for like 4 days. I couldn't breathe. So I mean, I don't know. Probably not. I probably need to. I probably need to get some testosterone like shots, like something serious.
Tim, you could be the poster child for low T. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'm afraid if I get those shots, I'm going to be trying to like hump the couch. That's not what I want.
That Melissa's a lucky woman, huh? Oh, Tim. Well, golly,
that's how everything started for me.
You may have to put her in therapy. Dear Lord, that poor child, my poor niece.
I was as stunned as you were. I mean, I was shocked. I felt, man, that was just that's bad.
I agree. I mean, it's awful.
Not only do I have to think in my mind that probably 18 or 16 years from now, I may be considered the grandpa at her high school graduation. I may be the grandma at her high school graduation.
Nothing would make me happier to see that. This is my yaya.
Unbelievable.
Well, let's hope that your experience does not mess with your ability to pick a draft. So just so the fans know, and we have so many fans all across the globe, Tim and I, for a treat for you today, we've each done a few mock drafts. That's right. We took the time to do a mock draft of saying what the Steelers could possibly be up to in the draft here in a week or so. And just heads up to Kevin Colbert, if you're listening, Mike Tomlin, if you're listening, you're free to use these mock drafts from us. We just ask that you throw a few props to the Yinzer Bros. That's all we ask. We don't want money.
When you did this draft, did you do it based off what you would do or what you think they would do?
I did it off if TJ was the GM. If my job depended on this, according to what I think that team needs, and the way that I used all of my athletic prowess, my mind, my great intellect to formulate a plan that I think would get the Steelers back into contention. That's what I did, Tim.
See, I did one based off of what I thought they do and based off of what I think they should do.
Well, we can hear each one of them. So how would you like
They
to do
both
this?
stink. They
Do
both
you want
stink.
do you want to do your complete one, or do you want to go round to round?
I mean, I don't care. We can do round to round. I think round to round will be more hilarious since we can see who realistically we're me and you are both what part of the stratosphere we're both coming from.
Okay. Well, I think let's go round to round. Let's start it there. I got mine in front of me. Now, Tim, did you just do a straight draft, or did you do any nifty trades?
TJ, this thing, if I would have started doing trades, it would have got way too complicated for my tiny brain. So I just went all the way straight through.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did something that I think is a daring thing. I did make a trade,
Okay.
but not in the first round, in the second round, and I think it paid off for me. So, Tim, who was your first round draft pick for your mock draft?
So this is the one I'm going to go with where I mean, there's a combination of both what I think the Steelers are going to do
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of me. I don't know. In my mock draft, my first selection at the 20th pick,
Yes,
Malik Willis was there. I couldn't pass on him. He was drafted.
you got to take him. So,
TJ, I don't know. I don't know if I like this dude. I don't know if I'm just getting enamored in like everybody's
maybe
wow factor them. I think he's going to stink, and that's just me. But I took him. This is my first pick.
we're going to take a quarterback. If he's there at 20, you got to take him. I went a little different direction. I took for my first round draft pick. Actually, in both of my drafts, I took Devontae Wyatt. Now he's had some recent trouble with the law, I've learned. But you know what? The violence I'm okay with, as long as it's directed toward men that deserve it. Now I don't know.
If you want my opinion,
Yeah.
this is the dude that I've wanted in my draft all along.
Yeah.
Period. In general,
Sure.
even over Malik Willis, even over the other
Sure.
the humongous dude from the other guy from Georgia. But then I heard like what I read about what he did, and he was beating down his chick's door. That got to me, TJ. I've seen that song and dance a million times. Once you give a dude like that some money, next thing you know,
Bad things happen.
he's got guns all over his bed, and he's beating up multiple women. I don't know if I need that.
I hope that's not the case. I decided to take a chance, and I picked him. We'll see what happens. So, who was your second round pick, Tim?
So let's why don't you go second round? We'll go back and forth.
So my second round, because I finagled this, I traded with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I gave
so
them
it's an early pick.
Yeah, we took the 33rd pick. That'd be in the beginning of the second round.
Yes.
I gave them our 50-something pick and a third round next year. And guess who was available in the second round at 33?
I'm going to say, from what I've been seeing, if it's the same mock draft that we've both been doing, I don't think they're very high on him. I'm going to say it's Pittsburgh Panther quarterback Kenny Pickett.
Now, he was available in the second one, but in this first one, it was Malik Willis. He's my second round draft pick. He was available.
Then
At 33, he was available.
That's a hell of a trade right there. It's a hell of a trade.
Oh, baby. Tell me I'm ready to do the GM thing. Malik
You
Willis,
might be.
round 2.
So what did you have to give up to move up there again? I'm sorry.
Third round pick and our second round for this year.
So you don't have a third round or a fourth round pick, basically.
No, next year. Next year's third round pick.
Next year's third round pick.
Next year's third round pick.
And that went through on that mock draft.
It did. It went through.
Golly, that's like playing Madden. I don't know if that's oof.
Isn't that great?
That's if that happens, TJ. The straw hat and the cigar will be in Tim Mateo's mouth.
So who was your second round pick, Tim?
So I went back and forth on this, and I'm just getting to the fact that it's either going to be 34, who I God hope they don't bring back. My dreams of Honey Badger I think they're gone. Like I'm at this point in time now, I'm kind of going, I just don't think so, because I want it so bad. I know that it's not going to happen because that's just my life in general. So I took the safety Jacquire Brisket out of Penn State with my second pick. He was there. The guy he's good. I think he can kind of fill that role and kind of be that safety that they're looking for if they don't bring back 34.
Well, I think they're going to get one of those two. They're going to get either 34 or they're going to get the honey badger. One of those two's coming.
TJ, I do too, but I think I'm gonna be staring at my screen and yelling that it's gonna be. But what does that tell you if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers that you drafted Terrell Owens with a number 1 draft pick?
Yeah, that's bad.
And that dude has not signed anywhere yet.
That's bad. It's bad. I'm still holding up hope for the honey badger. I think if he were to go on, the place that I'm nervous he may go to now is maybe L.A. But
I think
you know what?
The Philly one, I've been hearing a lot of that, a lot of it. So
I think we'll see. We'll see the power of Tomlin. We'll see if he brings it in. He's kind of like a celebrity. He's a celebrity coach. So who's your 3rd round pick?
3rd round pick, I went with Dylan Farham, a guard out of Memphis. The reason why I went with him, in his college career, he's played all 5 positions.
That's good.
Started tackle. They moved him in a guard. His grading wasn't great at guard last year. It was good. It wasn't great, but he can also play center. So I think it gives him flexibility to, if they want to move the guy that they got from Chicago to center, could possibly play guard. Gives him a little bit more position flexibility.
Yeah. So I went a little different. I know one of the things that we're lacking is speed at the wide receiver position. Danny Gray was available, wide receiver from SMU. He's a 4-3 guy. So he's not the biggest guy on the planet, but he gives you a little bit of threat on the edge. He was available out there. Ton of possession receivers available. I don't think the Steelers need any possession receiver help. They need somebody to stretch the field.
They need to stop collecting misfit toys of Notre Dame guys that can't catch.
I think you're probably right. The Notre Dame, let's just be real. They're not very tough. They're not very tough.
I'm kind of curious to see the dude they picked up. I have a feeling you're going to be going, this is Chase Claypool, but an inch taller.
He is. They're pretty soft. So then I went a little different.
Let me just take a step back, because there's one picture I saw of Miles Boykins that at first I'm looking, I'm like, I knew about him when he came out of the draft. I was kind of like, oh, maybe this dude, he's a big dude. There's a picture when you see a receiver and their eyes look like softballs when the ball's coming in. If I'm a D-back, I play D. That's your first tell. You look in the receiver's eyes. And if that's the case and his eyes look like softballs, that's not a good sign when the ball's coming in.
It's not. There's a reason why. Yeah, and let's just be real. The Ravens did not have a mighty passing offense last year. I'll tell you, the Ravens are hurting. I was surprised they released him because they lost Hollywood Brown and a bunch of. I mean, they're hurting pretty bad.
They have Hollywood Brown. He's still there.
I thought he retired. Didn't he? Didn't he step down? I thought he was pursuing his rap career, his entertainment career.
That's Antonio Brown.
I think it was Hollywood too.
That's Antonio Brown.
Oh, okay. I saw he just released a rap album, didn't he?
I don't.
I don't think I'm going to pick that up, but
no.
So my 4th round, I took a little deviation here, and it was good. Mm-hmm. There is a monster tackle, Kellen Deesh. He's from Arizona State. He's like 6'7". He was ranked in the top 5 Power 5 tackles. He's a beast. He's a monster. He's available. I've always felt this. You can grab guards anywhere. You got to draft tackles. So yep. I just think he was a good pickup for us. So I grabbed him.
Great minds think alike. In my 4th round pick, I also selected him.
There you go. The Yinzer Bros are full steam ahead.
So I saw his look at him, his stats. I think you can mold him. You're going to need. I don't think he would start immediately. I think he's going to be one of them dudes you're going to groom. Mm-hmm. Something like they kind of did with Chooks.
Yeah.
I think he would be a good pick to have. You can never go wrong with picking up linemen, big linemen.
He's a monster too. Yeah. So who is your are we in the 6th round or the 5th round? Where are we at now?
We're in I believe this is round. They didn't have a 5th round pick, so I believe this is round 6.
Yeah, it's round 6.
So I looked at a glaring thing, and I haven't got the receiver yet. I thought about that. I'm kind of going. I know they need a receiver. They need somebody with some speed, but I think they need a backup running back tremendously bad.
They do.
So I took Zadarick White.
Yes.
Out of South Carolina. He's got a little bit of he's not small, but he's not Najee size, but I think he could be a good spell for Najee.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good pick. I actually kicked around the running back thing, but I've always been a proponent. I think you can pick up running backs free agent if you need him. Um, and again, I don't know, that was just me. So I went a little different. I went at this point. I went to probably best available athlete, and I picked up Christopher Allen, who's an edge rusher from Alabama. I got this thing. Most Alabama guys are pretty solid. He's
Besides
a big
Bugs,
guy.
Bugs stunk.
He did stink. So this dude's about 6'4", and he was pretty solid. So I thought, you can always use edge help since we lost Taco as well. Taco signed somewhere else as well, and he was a decent midseason pickup. He added a little bit of depth to us.
I am kind of wondering what they're going to do because I hope they're not sticking with Tupac Shakur. Is that the guy that's up there?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
I hope he's
People
not the
thought he
third
was
guy.
dead. He is not dead. He's alive and well.
I hope he is not the third guy in the rotation, TJ. Because
I-
if he is, we are in the deep to do.
We are. So I thought they needed some help there. So is it me coming with the turnaround here? Or is it you? I forget.
7th round, you.
Okay. So I went a little different on here now. Again, a little secondary help. Nice big cornerback.
Can't do it.
Deron,
Can't do it.
Deron Bland, Fresno State.
This basically cancels your whole entire draft.
He's just too big to pass
TJ,
up. He's
the
about a
Steelers-
6'2" guy. He's fast. He's good.
Don't care. Steelers can't draft corners. Don't care. Don't care.
I don't think when is the last good corner you think they drafted? Is it Rod Woodson?
Corner. I mean, good God.
I mean, Ike was after him. Ike wasn't bad.
Ike was okay. I would say it probably was Ike because the rest of them sucked. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what's the guy that they have there that runs slot in the corner a little bit now. The guy they signed extended last year.
Oh,
My brain is mush.
I know
dude.
exactly who you're talking about. I can't tell you right now.
He played at Tennessee. He's been
Yeah.
there forever. He's okay, but last great corner, dude. They can't do it. I don't know what.
You're not talking about Sutton, right? You're talking about
Cam Sutton.
yeah, Cam Sutton. Yeah.
TJ, they can't draft corners. They just can't do it. I would rather bring back Hayden, his carcass, cheap because he hasn't been signed. And I have a feeling they're going to do that anyways.
Yeah.
I wouldn't draft any corner. Safety's different. And I don't even know if safety's different. See, that just invalidates my whole entire draft. Except for safety, 2nd round pick.
I don't think they're going for safety. I think their stopgap is going to be your buddy.
Oh, it's the worst. Dude.
I hope not. So who's your pick?
Not a lot of people know about this dude. I don't even think he was invited to the Sting Combine.
Did he go to school anywhere too? He is so far
know.
under the radar.
He went to boys CCAC. I sent you film on this dude. I sent some clips on Devin Tompkins. He's a smaller dude out of Utah.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is electric. I mean, TJ, he's electric. I think he's like a 4'3" dude.
Is he the kid that's like 5'9"?
He's like 5'9", but his catch radius is ridiculous for 5'9" kid.
Yeah,
he can return kicks.
Oh yeah,
he can return
I saw
punts.
him.
Dude is electric. I feel if you put him in the slot, he is going to be. I don't. You probably. I don't. He's. When I saw him on tape, he's not as big as him, but like when I say big, I mean like muscle wise. But his shiftiness and his quickness, it looked like Tyreek Hill. It just did.
Draft him.
I think the dude is. I think it would solve all your problems when it came to the punt return, everything, dude.
Hey,
And
but we just picked up that white kid. What's the kid we picked up?
The guy that looks like he's
always in the Carhartts.
The guy that looks like he grew up in Beaver. He's outside.
He's an Aliquippa kid. Yeah.
He's up there Punxsutawney. I don't know what he's doing. I agree. I didn't think of that. So I don't know. But this dude, I like this dude from I saw. He just seems like he's electric.
Speed is speed. We need speed. We're pretty slow out there. So who's your next pick?
I mean, my 7th round pick, to me, was probably the most no-brainer pick in this whole entire draft.
Yeah.
I mean, the Steelers. They like collecting brothers left and right. So I took Connor Hayward. I don't know what he's going to do. My guess is he's going to be some type of special teams demon. I mean, all I can think of is he is basically Derek Watt's replacement because I don't know what the hell Derek Watt does either.
You're right. He makes a lot of money to do nothing really.
Exactly. This guy, he's not going to make money, but he's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I went a little different. I went with I thought it was time to pick up a safety, so I picked up just a decent little safety. He's decent size, about 6'1". Marquise Bell from Florida A&M. Don't know how he's going to pan out. So Tim, so that was your first draft. What's your other draft? Good. Let's see your other draft now. So is this the one that you want?
I guess. I
So how
mean,
did it go? Let's go through it. Let's see how it went. Mine changed a little, just slightly. It changed slightly.
okay.
So
Okay.
good. You go. What was your who was your first pick?
I took him. I think this would be the smartest move. If you want my god awful opinion, it would solve pretty much. It would be the centerpiece of your offensive line for the next 13, 14 years.
Hmm.
Tyler Lindenbaum, the big center from Iowa.
He's a big
To
guy.
me, it's just he's your Marquise Pouncey. He's your Demonte
Yeah.
Dawg. He's your next dude. That's he solves everything. All those guys you brought in for free agency, you don't got to move them. You leave them to guard. You just that's the dude that would be my first pick.
That's good. So I went the same way in my second draft as I did the first one. I picked up Devontae Wyatt,
I
the
love
assault
him. I
and
love him,
battery.
dude.
I am not convinced that Tua's going to come back. And second, if he does come back, I don't know what he's going to be like. I mean,
I
I
don't
don't know.
either.
And I think that was a major issue. Alu, I think he's great, but he's getting older. So I think you have to share that up. So
You got
then,
louder face. You got louder face coming on strong.
yeah, sure you do. So then I did the same thing. I made the trade again with Jacksonville to get that upper. And the second round this time, guess who was available?
I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Pretty close. Kenny Pickett was available. So I grabbed Kenny Pickett because of
Let me
all
ask
the
you.
guys in the draft, he's accurate. I don't need a
Let me
big one. I need
let
somebody.
me let me ask you an honest opinion.
Hmm?
Do you think Kenny Pickett's any better than Mitch Trubisky?
I think this is how I broke it down. I superimposed the Matt Canada offense.
They
This is
said that's a magic wild card out of all this crap.
it is. But as I envision the Matt Canada offense, I think everything is close to the line of scrimmage, and I don't think you're going to see anything beyond 15,
What
20
did you?
yards.
What did you? That's it's the same offense we saw for the past 7 years, TJ.
It is, but I just
When you picture Matt Canada's offense, I just picture a puddle of poo. That's what I picture.
well, you're going to find out this year. So I think for him being available for what he could do, I mean, he does have teeny hands, but I think we'll get through it. So I threw in Kenny Pickett there. Who was your second round pick?
I can't believe I picked this dude because I can't stand him. But I was like, if he's there, you guess I got to take him.
Yeah.
Matt Corral was there.
No.
And this was I didn't make any trades. He was there. I said, you know what? Quarterback mobility, the guy, you take him. At that point, take a spin on him. That late in the second round, you take a spin on him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with that. I mean, I would still, for a third rounder next year.
I didn't, TJ, if I would have, I did these drafts after my daughter did one of these to me. So trades
off. I get it.
Trades weren't on my mind right there.
I get it. So who is your third round pick?
Third round pick again. I can't picture 34, and I don't think they're getting Honey Badger. I took a safety from Cincinnati, Brian Cook. He's bigger. He's more of a run stopper type of dude.
Yeah.
So I think he's about 205, 206. He doesn't. I think he missed only 4 tackles all last year.
I was going to pick him too. He intrigued me.
So
But
that's what I went with.
That's good. I held off instead of grabbing him though, and I went with that big tackle again. He was available.
Were you doing the same goddamn mock drafts I was?
I think I probably was. He was. I just think he just looks too appealing as a tackle. I thought, I want to take him. So I grabbed Kellen Deesh again, and then I went a little different. I went with a running back, South Dakota State, Pierre Strong Jr. Just because he's a burner. They said they think he may be the fastest guy in the draft. He's a low 4.3.
And he's a bigger dude too. And
Almost like a
about
4.2.
He's like a 200-pound dude too, right?
Yes, he is. So I just
ironically
speed kills,
enough,
baby.
my 4th round pick was the same man.
Tim, we're in sync like the band, Tim.
Yeah, yes. So that's
So
who I did.
who was your 6th round pick after that?
I took tackle Zachary Thomas because he was just the best available person on my board.
Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong with that. That's good.
I think he played for San Diego State.
The mighty San Diego State. What's their mascot? Do you know? I don't know what their mascot is.
Aztec? Aren't they the Aztecs?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm asking.
I think they are. San
Let's
Diego
call
State.
let's call them the Aztecs.
They're probably like a puppy or something. So I have no idea.
That's a good pick. This is where I finally went with a wide receiver. I went with Josh Johnson. Not a burner, decent possession receiver, decent size. He is who he is. Because they're missing now that Juju like person. I know.
What are you
I don't
talking
know.
about? Teacher, what are you talking about? They got their smallest receiver. Do you realize they have two receivers that are 6'4", 6'4"? They got a tight end that's 6'4", 6'5", and they got another tight end that's 6'9". What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about somebody that gets in there. They said he catches everything.
If you can't,
and he's
if
a
Miles
safety
Boykins or Claypool can't play the slot at 200 pounds, something's wrong. They're gonna have safeties and linebackers on them. You can't beat them. You can't get out of the
league. Maybe that's where they're at. I don't know. And then my final things were the exact same thing.
Okay. You follow. No, you got. Oh, whatever. Good. I don't care.
So I grabbed the same safety from Michigan, and I also grabbed the same cornerback from Fresno State, Deron Bland. So who did you finish up with?
Same wide receiver, Devin Tompkins. And TJ, it's the most sure.
He's fast. He's fast.
No, that dude's electric. That would be probably my man crush of the draft. Like the punter was last year until he stinks. I'm gonna be like, this dude's incredible. Like the punter, I loved him. And then he stunk, and I hate him. Even though I went to that stuff, but whatever. But that if they draft Devin Hopkins, that guy's gonna be like it would tempt me to go buy jerseys, to be like thinking that I know something that other people don't know, and what's gonna happen is by week 4, I'm gonna be like, this dude shouldn't even be in the NFL. He's playing for the Maulers.
But what if? Listen to this, Tim. What if he turns out to be something? And you know what? This national podcast. Actually, it's international. I think we have one listener from Canada. Yeah. What if they document that this is where they heard it first, that this guy was going to be a stud and a star? Would that put the Yinzer Bros on the map nationally?
I don't know, but I firmly believe that next to the Men of Steel sign they slap before they go out, there better be a picture of my face right next to it.
I think that'd be great. For
my last pick, I went with TJ. It's the most sure pick in this whole entire draft.
Yeah,
it is. It's. I'm gonna continue to say that if this pick doesn't happen, something's weird. It's Hayward. It's Connor Hayward. He's going to be a Steeler.
It's got to be a Hayward. Yeah, it's got. You got to keep the big guy. You got to keep the big fella happy.
But I think the dude, like in Matt Canada's offense, I don't know, because I don't know what the hell Matt Canada's offense is. Just go ahead. I have no idea.
There's so much misdirection in it, Tim. We don't even know what it is.
Dude, what if it turns out that it's like the most explosive offense in the league? And we're like, it was Ben. You're going.
Trubisky throws for like 5,500 yards. What is going on?
TJ, again, if that happens, I think he's going to stink. But if it does happen, TJ, I may wear a Mitch Trubisky jersey out in Chicago. The Bumblebee one too. I get a special Bumblebee one made and wear it every single day.
I think that would be phenomenal. Well, so there's your mock drafts for us. Steelers, if you need it, you're more than welcome to use it. Just give us some props. I think we did pretty good. Now we have some mail in the Yinzer mailbag. You may ask.
Before we do the Yinzer mailbag, we do probably got to say something about Dwayne. T's and P's to his family. Tragedy has happened. You know what I mean? It's crazy to hear. You don't know what all the story is, but that's just a crazy, unfortunate thing to happen to a kid so young.
It is. It seemed like he was on the right track. I don't know if you heard today. They're talking about now. They released a call to his wife or something where he said he ran out of gas or something. Yeah,
I heard that too. It's just very weird because I don't think you're ever going to get I don't personally think you're ever going to get the full story of what happened. So, I mean, maybe it's a better thing. I don't know. It's just, it makes you think. Like, to me, it's just a crazy, 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 crazy thing, man.
It is. 24 is way too young to die.
Yeah.
Over something dumb like that, too. Somebody with so much potential. So, no, you're totally right. Um, let's move to the Yinzer mailbag. What's the Yinzer mailbag? Is when you, the fan, get to ask us anything you want as questions for the Yinzer Bros. Tim has got a few submissions in there. Tim, read what's in the bag today.
I will say we got some. I'm gonna get a little shout out. He was out at the Masters, got me a nice little
Nice.
Masters hat that I'm quite happy with.
Did he get a look at Tiger down there? Did he see Tiger when he was down there?
Yeah, that's why I'm guessing Tiger's leg looked like it was about to fall off day 2 because Mark got that close to him.
He does have that supernatural ability to make things crash and burn.
Oh, it's TJ. It's an unbelievable thing.
We got to have him back on, especially if we start to get some success with Mitchell.
Oh, he'd be great to have on. I almost want to do a game. Like I thought about doing this next year for the NFL to just give me one gambling thing he's going to take one week, just one game a week, and do the complete opposite to see where I sit at the end of the
year. That's a good call, actually.
I think it just called hedging with Marky Mush. So I just to me it's an unbelievable thing. Yeah. If Mitch does well, trust me, TJ, I have a line up of Chicago people that I just want to bring on here every week so I can sit there and I may not even say anything. I just may just laugh.
Especially if Fields tanks it, which I don't think he's going to, but who knows? You never know.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So what do you got in the mailbag?
Mush, of course. Been a while. How many throws does Ben have left? Ha ha ha. Answer 0.
Sure. That's okay.
I would read this question he has about Mr. Haskins, but I don't want to make Mark the most villainous person on the planet. So we're going to skip that. We'll skip that whole section.
Good call. Good call.
Okay. How excited are we to have Mitch as our quarterback?
Excited is a strong word. Well, if any of what comes out of Buffalo is true, I mean,
I don't. What do you expect them to say up there? If he was that great, they'd be like, well, let's try to keep him as a backup making $8 million. Because that's pretty reasonable for a backup quarterback.
It is, but I think I don't think they could. I think he wanted to go. He wanted to take a shot to start somewhere. I just think
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
To go from $1.5 million to $8 million, I'd be like, let's do a little dance, make a little noise.
That's right. And you know what? He's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants something to prove. Let me throw something else out to you, Tim. And we've been hearing this too.
Please don't make my brain explode anymore. I think I know exactly.
Well, this is what we've been hearing, and I don't know if there's any validity to it. But if the Browns cut Baker Mayfield, do the Steelers pick him up? Because you understand this, they owe him $18 million. We pick him up for the league minimum, and that puts Cleveland on the hook still for that 18 against the cap. Do you throw him in there to compete? Is it even worth bringing him in? Is he too much poison for the organization? Was he hurt last year? Is he a top 15 quarterback?
Man, depending on
is he better than Mitch? Is he better than Mitch?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think they're both crap. So I don't know. It's like you're taking a bunch of crap and throw it against the wall and hoping it sticks. I've seen this
pretty much.
Do you bring him in? It depends how much it is. If it's for, I don't know what would you say is absolutely. I mean, you got Mason making 5 or 6, I think. Yeah. You got Mitch with 7 and a half, 8.
Yeah.
Him, what if he says, "Hey, you take a 1-year deal for $5 million"? Do you bring him in?
Well, here's the thing: if you cut him, whatever you pay him, Cleveland grabs the rest. So he's making $18 million this year. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean the Steelers could sign him for $1 million, and they're on the hook for 17.
And I guess it's a thing before the draft or after the draft. So to me, if you draft a quarterback in the draft, you're not going to bring him in.
Well, this. You're probably going to go with 4 quarterbacks. Right now, we've got 2.
Yeah, but normally that 4th quarterback is a dude you're going to bring in. That's he's a camp arm that he's that you maybe get for veteran minimum or something of the sort. I mean, I don't think Baker would take that. He may, but Baker
may be $18 million this year.
Baker may be the type of dude that just does that and maybe just wants to prove something.
Maybe
F you to the league or whatever. So yeah. I could see it. But I think truthfully, if they did that, if it happened before the draft, you're not going to see them draft a quarterback until around
Yeah.
4 through 7. If they do, if they don't do it before, if it doesn't happen before the draft, I just don't. And they draft a quarterback early. I don't think there's a sense bringing him in. Would I hate it, man? I don't think it would hurt anything. More competition, I
Yeah.
guess. He was the number one pick. I guess. Yeah, if you can give it a price, I would go ahead and give it a whirl.
I mean, you would think, and again, there's a little bit of, yeah, obviously he's got some issues with the locker room and stuff like that, so you got to deal with that. But here's something that's kind of interesting. His venom alone may want him to go to, if he were to go anywhere in the league that was the most hated franchise for the Cleveland Browns, it would be the
Oh, I agree.
Steelers.
I agree with you 1,000%. Now, my question is, did he lose a locker room because that locker room just sucks in general? That's another thing you have to think about too.
I agree.
Because put it this way, you have the Steelers locker room, you have Mike Tomlin. That usually, I mean, if you're able to put up with Dingbat Magoo, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell, I mean, you have some structure in there, and you got some dudes in that locker room that is not going to get way out of hand. So was it more Baker or was it more that locker room? I don't know. OBJ's been a headache everywhere he's went besides them. Miles Garrett, I don't know what's going on in that dude's brain at all. And Kevin Stefanski doesn't seem like, to me as a coach, it's going to be like, here's your hard line.
Yeah. No.
But all you got to, TJ, just when I think about Cleveland's, what's the word I'm looking for? Not culture.
Yeah.
They gave a dude that has 22 rape charges against him. They gave him $250 million guaranteed.
Guaranteed. and they cut arguably the greatest. They fired the greatest coach of all time.
So, I mean,
they fired Bill Belichick.
So yeah, to me, it's like do I think I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's Baker or, I mean, he looked pretty damn good when they beat the Steelers like a drum in the playoff game, and they basically took that Super Bowl team that went to the Super Bowl that year to the absolute maximum. Was Kansas City, who nobody thought anybody would come close to beating.
That's true.
So I don't know if I just think if you're able to corral him and put him in that system, and you got Najee there, maybe he may be good. It seems like when he's not asked to win every game, he played pretty well. Cleveland had a pretty good record, and I still think Steelers' defense is way better than Cleveland's.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think some of their skill position players, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So
it could be interesting. Wouldn't it be great if they get the Sean in there and he just sucks because the organization sucks?
TJ, if Baker came and he actually just was good for Pittsburgh and just kicked Cleveland in the mouth for 10 years straight,
like the next 10 years,
TJ, he would be. TJ, there would be a statue outside that stadium.
That's true. You're right.
If he won one Super Bowl, I think it'd be more valuable than Ben being in 3, just because that whole scenario right there. Just say bleep you to Cleveland.
Yeah, you're right.
It'd be insane. It would be. It would be hilarious. I mean, to me, I'd sit there, I'd laugh, but it would be something crazy, man.
So, do you think they would do one of those commercials where he moves from the Cleveland Stadium to like Heinz Field?
I could realistically, when I said, all those times going to Cleveland and taking a dump on the 50-yard line, I could see Baker actually doing that, just pulling his pants down and pooping on the 50-yard line.
He probably could do that.
Funny,
okay.
Man.
Anything else in the Yinzer mailbag?
Yeah, we got over under on wins next year. What are you thinking? Mush is setting the line at 9.
That's a good line. Holy cow!
I mean,
so you're saying
it's basically 500.
Yeah, so you say we're going to be 9 and 8. That's good. I think. I mean, the strength of the division. Here's the challenge. I think every year, on paper, everybody looks great. You never know how the season is going to play out. You never know with injuries. You never know what's going to happen. I know this is going to sound crazy. Burrow had a great year last year. Year before, he tore up his knee pretty bad. The AFC is loaded. Our strength of schedule isn't as heavy. I'm gonna say I think for what they've done with the defense, and the offense is going to be better.
Hmm?
I give us with strength of schedule. I think we're going to be 10-7. Now, if that's
I,
good enough to get in, I don't know if it's good enough to get in the AFC, but we'll see.
I don't see them winning 8 games next year, TJ. Just my opinion. Mitch Trubisky stinks. Mason stinks.
I think just having the line better in the I think the loss of Tuitt and Alu was so big. I don't think we realized how big that was.
I mean, it was huge.
I think this year Bush steps up. We
Mhm.
added inside linebacker stuff. They pick up like the Honey Badger.
Mhm.
That defense turns into a top 5 defense again automatically. And then, Najee takes a step up. I don't think I think we're underplaying how bad Ben was last year. He just did not have the ability to do much.
And I agree with you, but I have a feeling when you see Mitch, when you're out golfing
Mhm.
and you're like, dude, when you go into, you're like, I suck at golfing, and then you hit that one shot like in that round, and you're like, yeah, I can do this over again. That's what you're gonna be like with Mitch. You're gonna be like, this guy sucks for 17 holes, and he's hit it one shot. And you're like, maybe. And it's gonna be like that all year, and you're gonna be like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna, like, you're waiting like week 6. It's gonna happen. The switch is gonna happen. You're like, and it's gonna be week 15, and again, you need to rattle off 4 wins, and you're not gonna win any games because Mitch is gonna kill you.
Well, let's just be real though. When you talk about like the bottom 5 dysfunctional franchises, Chicago's in that bottom 5. I mean, they just are.
I would say
And
that
Mitch took them.
bottom 5. That's tough.
No, I'm talking about as far as dysfunctional organizations that have
That's
done
tough
much.
in the league. They've been to a Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
I'm talking about like actually done anything. So once you get past, I mean, they're who's their greatest?
Cutler wasn't bad for them.
He wasn't bad, but he's the greatest quarterback they've ever had next to Sid Luckman.
I agree. Don't get me wrong.
So do you think? I mean, when you hear about the dysfunction that was happening on the team when Mitch Trubisky was there,
Yeah,
I mean, you talk about heavy dysfunction. Him and the coach don't even talk,
I
and
agree.
it wasn't on Mitch's side. He's apparently a pretty likable guy. So
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you have that dysfunction, I think it's like a Baker Mayfield thing. So what are you going to get with stability? I know this. Like, if he's like, he doesn't have to be great. If he could be good and not hurt you, you get a great running game and you have a decent passing game and a ridiculous defense. I mean, when you look at like these other guys that are motoring, and again, Cincinnati's they upgraded their defense. I think the Ravens. Who are the Ravens?
Cincinnati built the Great Wall of China in front of Joe Burrow. That team's going to be very scary, dude.
Again, if things play out the way that they did last year. Here, I saw this stat, which is nuts. Early on, QBs of that draft, and when they get there that quick, do you know how many of them actually got back to the Super Bowl after they got there that fast?
Probably not many.
Guess
Brady.
what? Yeah, guess another
Brady.
one that did. Guess another one that did within 2 years.
Within
Yeah.
2 years, they did get back there.
Yeah,
Young.
you know him intimately, Big Ben.
Benjamin.
All the other
Benjamin
guys,
Todd.
Benjamin Todd. All the other guys, they didn't get there. So, like, I don't know what the Ravens are going to be like. We don't know. We speculate. Deshaun Watson's been out of the game for a year, and we think that he's going to be the same Deshaun Watson that last played with the Texans. Is he? We have no idea.
Here's another thing that I don't understand about the Browns. I mean, this tells me how dysfunctional they are. Like, he's there for their what's their camp, their OTAs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're opening up like after the OTAs for him to press conferences to answer questions. Like, what do you think the press is going to ask? Like, hey, Deshaun, how was your deep ball looking today? No, they're not going to ask Deshaun Watson about how his deep ball was in OTAs. They're going to ask him, hey, dude, what's going on?
Did you rape those women?
Did you rape? Did you rape?
I don't know. They're a dumpster fire. They're a dumpster fire.
I get it.
Even the stuff that they did with Baker, and again, I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan, but he's saying, like, they told me all this stuff and they just did everything was the complete opposite. Be honest with the dude. Like, can you imagine like the Rooneys doing something like that? it's bananas to me. It's just bananas.
I get. I got a couple more things in this
Yeah.
Yinzer matter.
Yeah.
He actually put a lot in here, so I'm going to kind of pick and choose.
Sure.
Again, Juju gone. Will anybody notice? No.
No, not at all.
I didn't think they should have brought back Juju last year, and I said that. Whatever.
I agree.
Will Tua play again ever? I hope so. What I'm worried about too is this, truthfully, with everything that Dwayne had with Dwayne, and I know he probably wasn't close because he wasn't with the team last year at all. Just that whole thing that happened with Haskins. Hopefully, he doesn't bring anything back with his.
Sure.
So I kind of thought about that too. So I don't know, dude. I think it's gonna be one of those things you're not gonna know until first, second week of camp if he's there.
There's no doubt in my mind they're going to draft a good D tackle early. I just think they are somebody interior because you can't put all your money on that chip again.
I still think there's some guys out there that can help them that are older if they wanted to. Hakeem Nicks is still out there, which I think would be an incredible fit if they decide to go somewhere else in the draft, like quarterback in the first round, and wait on those. Okay, but I also hear that this draft is very defensive line deep. But I don't know if it's when I say defensive line, I'm thinking you got more guys in the mold of Hayward that's in that 285, 290 instead of that 320, 330 guy that's you can stuff in the middle. Is 55 still on the team? If so, why? I don't know, dude. I don't know what that dude's. I don't know. 55. TJ, he gets me so nervous, man.
So here's my prediction, right, for this. I think you shore up the front. I think he returns to his first round form.
TJ, I hope so. I just saw too many. I saw too many pull out the joystick. He's just sitting there. You're kind of like, what happened?
I think he was just trying to do too much. I think he was trying to compensate, and I think he has another year of healing with his knee under his belt, and he's small. So if you're small, you have to keep everything in front of you clean. You can't see, and that whole left side of the defense, that defensive line on the left side, was non-existent. It was just non-existent.
I'm hoping that the addition of Mac helps him.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
He's asking, is 34 on or off the list? By the way, he wants to know my preseason list. 34 will always be on the list, just like Anthony Chickalo will always be on the list.
What do you think Anthony's doing now? Is he
probably beating a woman.
Probably beating a woman.
Probably beating. When I'm not talking like a regular one, I'm talking like an old woman, like an 80-year-old woman.
He was a scum.
Him. The guy what's his name? He almost came off the list because of the crap that he got flagged for last year with the Bears getting the Steelers win. What's the guy? Collects all the Magic cards that we had. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Oh, the tattoo. What was his name? I don't know. He looked like he came out of like a early 1993 grunge band. Like he was putting cigarette butts out on his arms. I'm like, whatever his name was.
That wasn't like the Cash Clay, whatever his name was.
Cassius Clay. His name. He's definitely on the list. And the mush is always. I don't know if he's crippling on the list.
Yes.
He's asking if Kenny Pickett. Do you think Kenny Pickett's going to go in round one? If so, what team takes him?
So, I mean, I picked him up in round 2 of my draft, but I don't think he gets past. I think he's going to Carolina because they need help now.
I do too. I saw that dude with their offensive coordinator, McAdoo, stated that he was like Sam Darnold's our quarterback. He came back was like, I just want to clarify, I made a mistake by saying that. I mean, dude, you're an offense. You are an NFL. You're a dude. That dude's he looks stupid. He looks like a dummy.
He does. I'm surprised we don't have him on our staff. I am. Obviously.
Mark wants to know this off thing. What about the Pens? Any Pens talk going into the playoffs?
We got to get Jari back. Jari's got a broken leg, broken foot.
Oh, the last thing I heard is they had the team picture and they had to players had to push him out on a chair when he was sitting on a chair under the ice. That's not a good sign. TJ. No, they got some dude that they probably was driving the Zamboni as their backup goalie now.
Probably. And
he's probably better than the guy that they're going to have playing goalie.
Now, I got to say this. Now, I mean, as we're recording this tonight, DeSmith looked pretty good tonight. In fact, I think he threw a shutout against the Bruins, which is good.
Bruins stink. I mean, they
They're not
stink.
great, but they're not the worst.
You know, we're going to
Hey,
see TJ
how about this for
another first round exit from our
maybe?
beloved
How,
Penguins.
how about this for a blast from the past? Why don't they make a run for the flower?
They can't get them. It's past the trade deadline.
I know.
What do you whatever you just said? It can't happen. It's impossible to happen. TJ, I will say this: ever since the Mush was back in Pittsburgh, I think it was the last Cup run. He went to one of the games, got this pennant. He hung it up in his office. The
Kiss of
Penguins have
death.
they've been in disarray.
Kiss of death.
He did the same. He did the same thing with Chris Bryant the year he won the MVP. He had this big thing up. He has a big thing up in his office. TJ, he's been on 3 teams since.
Kiss of death. Hey, how about the Pirates? They've been overachieving. I mean, they got swept this week, but they've been overachieving.
TJ, that team's gonna. That was the last questions. How many any Pirate talks over under on 95 losses this year?
I think I was pegging them to lose over 100 games this year, but now
TJ, they're gonna lose. If there's a million games, they would lose a million games.
they just got swept by the Brewers. Up to that point, I think they were 5-6, which was nuts.
TJ, come on, dude.
Oh,
They're
terrible.
They threw out a bone to the fan base saying, "Hey," I mean, they signed those 2 guys. They signed Key. I still can't believe Hayes actually signed that contract.
Yeah, it's a terrible contract for him.
It makes no sense to me. I'm kind of going like,
No.
dude, that means Kays knows something that the organization know. Kays knows like I suck, so I'm gonna sign this dude.
And they signed Reynolds to like what, a 2-year extension or something like that.
It was basically like that deal was like kissing your sister type of deal. It's like it kind of just so what their payroll went from 35 million to 60 million.
Yeah, maybe.
If that,
maybe.
I mean,
No.
it's just you might as well McClatchy may just walk in that stadium every night there's a game, take a pee on the Clemente statue and just walk in.
Yeah, we're not going to be good. We're rebuilding again. No, I don't know. How are the Cubbies looking?
I don't know, TJ. You couldn't pay me enough to go down to that godforsaken field.
Old Wrigley,
But it is funny because everybody now it's like, Mush did some stuff last year with the White Sox, and that team that was a juggernaut got yousted in the first round. And I told some surefire believers that at our office at the time, you're going to get your heart ripped out at some point in incredible fashion. And guess what? Those people at the office now they laughed it off, saying the Mush did it. Oh, now I wouldn't be shocked if somehow you see the Mush disappeared because they want them.
That's true. They're pretty passionate about their White Sox guys.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Cool.
Is that all you
got in the Yinzer mailbag?
He had some stuff on some Pittsburgh NBA talk. He goes, "Oh, that's right. No, Pitt's doesn't have enough major league market for a team." Who cares? We have 2 football teams, so who cares?
Right.
What do you say about
right.
that?
We got the Maulers now. That's right.
I guess
The
whatever
Pittsburgh Maulers. They're playing. Have you seen the USFL? They're playing in Birmingham. All the teams are in Birmingham because they got a sweet deal on a stadium.
Can you imagine having to live in Birmingham for at least what are they probably there 3 or 4 months?
That'd be terrible.
That's
That's hot.
I would rather live in my shed.
That's kind of like living in your shed. All right. Well, that's the Yinzer mailbag. Again, if you got any questions, you can send them to yinzerbros@gmail.com. We'll answer them if anybody sends us questions. Anybody.
I will say this. I'm actually surprised. There's people that I never thought in a million years would listen to this. I've talked to like in my work. They say, "Hey, do you and your brother have a podcast?" I'm going, "How the heck do you know this?" So there is people actually that
there is. Word's getting out, Tim.
We may get up to like 40 subscribers this year.
Maybe. We're like a grassroots. It's a movement, Tim. It's a movement.
Yes, it is.
It's a movement. All right. Well, that's all we have for tonight. You got our draft preview. It was great. Tim, before we sign off, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, I guess like next week is the draft. Am I going crazy?
Next week is the draft.
Long?
It's the draft.
So you will either see me in a like draft night for me. That's almost as big as for me. It's almost like a game. Like you'll see the best or you'll see the absolute worst in me, and I have had some bad moments.
Yeah, you know what we should do, Tim? I just thought about it. We should do a Yinzer Bros on location at St. Vincent.
Dude, it's gonna be so hot.
I know, but that's
TJ, I got
we
I
be with
got
the people.
let's think about, you know what I have to do like next week? I have to go to Dallas and Tucson within a 3-day span of each other. TJ, it's supposed to be 99 degrees in Tucson. This is the first episode of Tim versus the Sun, and my guess is the Sun is like, if you were betting odds, slam dunk. I mean, just slam dunk.
All I'm going to say is this: make sure that whatever shirt you wear or brassiere is breathable, Tim.
I gotta be in a suit and jacket.
That's gonna stink.
It's gonna be like this.
That's gonna stink.
You know what? No, I thought about going to the trail would be cool, but you know what? I also we have to do before we die, before at least I'm not, me personally, is not in a wheelchair or some type of breathing apparatus.
Yeah.
I would love to do the men's fantasy camp. And
Let's do it.
If we did a live Yinzer brother from the fantasy camp,
I think we should do it. We should do it.
I could picture you, like, you would be sitting somewhere and I'd be in that ginormous cold tub somewhere. Just
I think we should price it out, see what's going on.
getting smoked by some 75-year-old named Bill from Moon Township.
Putting his heater down before he starts running.
smoking a Salem Light 100 as he is just blowing past me off the line of scrimmage.
Tim, what would you do at that camp if you get one of the old QBs, they chuck you a ball, knowing that you can't throw that ball back? I mean, what would you do?
I would look at the guy that I know, like that I know that I'm way more athletic, or at some point I was, like a guy that, like, you could tell, like he's on his way to death. I would hand him the ball and be like, dude, for you, why don't you throw this one back?
I like that. That's a good way to do that. That's cool.
That's the only thing I could think of. But I could, TJ, I mentally think about that. If somebody I did line up and, like, some dude that's like 75 years old just smokes me, and it's like,
you take a step, your knee collapses, you're rolling around on the ground.
Could you imagine me blowing out my knee at St. Vincent with some guy named St. Bonnie from the Mon that just smoked me? 72 years old.
That's right.
Spent 30 years in the mill and 10 years delivering bread somewhere.
That's it. That's a Pittsburgher. You just described the Pittsburgher's life.
It would be a great story for him, saying, I smoked this guy. He'd make it down. He'd be like, this kid was probably 22 years old on the ground.
That'd be great.
And knowing my luck, I'd have a replica 34 jersey on. They'd give me from camp.
That would be great. That would be awesome. All right. Well, don't forget, if you like what you hear, pass along our podcast to your friends, your neighbors, even the people you don't like. Send our podcast in. We need as many subscribers as possible. People, get subscribers. We need your help. Once again, we're the Yinzer Bros. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number one out here. All right.
Oh, see ya.